Hey, how's it going, everybody out there? It's VFM here. Time for a brand new segment of The Verdict for all of you guys out there. This time, I'm doing my review of Snow White and the Huntsman, starring Kristen Stewart and Chris Hemsworth. So, let's get right into this. This is pretty much a different take on the Snow White fairy tale, the classic Snow White fairy tale that everybody knows of, especially if you've seen the Disney movie. This is a completely different direction than what the other Snow White movie that came out this year is, Mirror Mirror, which is a little bit much more of a comedic take. This one throws a lot more action and grittiness into the mix. It gives it a much more darker texture. And what I mean by that is this: if they took the entire movie and threw a bunch of Tim Burton aspects into the actual kind of like mixing pot. So, pretty interesting. Sounds interesting on paper, but how is the movie as a whole? Is it any good, and should you actually go to the theater to see it? So, I went into this movie, trying to see if I could like it. Trying to actually give it the benefit of the doubt because there was a couple things I was worried about. Number one, Kristen Stewart. She's pretty much typecast as Bella Swan at this point from the Twilight movies. And I was a little bit worried that maybe she wouldn't be able to act as well in a different type of part without bringing a bunch of Bella Swan with her. Because if I'm watching a Snow White movie, I want to see Snow White. I don't want to see Bella Swan when I'm actually seeing the movie. So, that being said, she does a decent job with the part for what it is. She isn't the kind of, she comes off as like a pretty individual, which is what Snow White is supposed to be, the fairest of them all. However, one of the things that they actually do is that they actually threw a little bit much more attitude into the mix, a little bit much more grittiness again. So in this movie, you're actually going to be seeing Snow White actually fight people, which is not really something you would really associate with a fairy tale character like Snow White, but it's different and it's fresh and it feels, completely new. With that being said, also, Chris Hemsworth, the Huntsman. Now, one of the things I was also worried about that I didn't see in a lot of the trailers and the promotional material for this movie was the Seven Dwarfs. For like a brief moment in time, as I was watching this movie, I felt like, oh no, the Seven Dwarfs aren't going to make an appearance in this movie because, hey, everybody knows the story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Again, if you saw the Disney movie, that kind of resonates with you in some shape or fashion. But I'm lucky to inform you guys, without spoiling too much, the Seven Dwarfs do make an appearance. It's actually pretty cool. A lot of the funny moments, a lot of the more interesting moments of the movie pick up when they do show up because there's a lot, a whole mouthful of story to get through up until that point. One of the kind of, more annoying things about this movie, I really do have to say, is that it kind of plays on your knowledge of the actual Snow White fairy tale. Meaning that if you didn't know anything about the actual poisonous apple, if you didn't know anything about the kiss that revives her, you wouldn't really expect what was going on to the story. When it actually happens, you'd be completely lost if you knew nothing about Snow White at all. You wouldn't know the reason of why certain things are going on. They kind of just throw them in there and then they just kind of leave it at that and they get back to the action of the overarching plot. Which is a little bit annoying, again. However, one of the cool things that they actually do, there's some really good fight sequences or really good action sequences, as far as the epicness of the scale, which is pretty cool. The castle looks awesome, I'm not going to lie, it looks amazing. A lot of the creatures that do appear in this movie is pretty cool. A lot of the CG work was amazing. Overall, again, should you run out to the theater and see this movie? Probably not. It's not a drop everything and go see it right now. I'm pretty sure a lot of the people that haven't already seen Avengers like 3 or 4 times are probably seeing it another 5th or 6th time. But if you want something different, go check out Snow White and the Huntsman. It's an interesting take on a classic fairy tale, and it's pretty cool. So, with that being said, that's just my opinion, guys. Leave your comments and video responses. I don't mind. Just keep it civil. Let me know what you guys think. Is it any good or is it any bad or whatnot? What did you guys think of Chris Hemsworth? What did you guys think of Kristen Stewart? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I will talk to you guys again soon. So, peace out. Stay epic, everybody.